Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about a very, very, very sad story of an influencer child who has succumbed to his injuries in a bit horrific car accident that has a lot of questions actually that are still outstanding, and it's quite a weird case, and the TikToks are going and the articles are going, and there's some misinformation that they're saying that's out there, and I'm going to link it to how sometimes these influencers put their kids in danger. So let's talk about it. Okay, so according to the TMZ article here, OK Baby, which is not the OK Baby obviously from Kira and Oscar, it's a different OK Baby. TikTok star dead, cops claim seat problem in car crash. Family disputes the report. Preston Ordone, the OK Baby viral star, has tragically died after a car crash. And now chaos is breaking out between his family and cops, with both sides clashing over a crucial detail in his death. The 2-year-old died on April 24th after the 2011 Ford F-150 pickup truck he was riding in with his parents, Caitlin and Jalen, veered off the road and slammed into a tree, according to Louisiana State Police. And to this day, and we're going to see the TikToks, they have no idea why this truck veered off the road and smashed into a tree. They're not saying they might have concussions. Remember when I fell off my scooter? And I smashed my head against the ground and I got a major concussion? I actually believe them when they say they don't remember, because I don't remember anything about that until about 12 hours after. Then I got my memory started again, and I forgot so many things, like incredibly sad things too in my life. I'm not even want to get into it, but like it's absolutely within obviously the realm of reason that you would forget how things happen if you have a concussion. I totally believe that. Caitlin and Jalen survived the impact in St. Tammany Bay Parish, north of New Orleans, with substantial injuries. Cops say they believe Preston wasn't properly secured in his car seat, a claim strongly disputed by the boy's grandfather, Glenn Norris. Now, the question about the Glenn Norris claim is that, like, the initial thing that I come up with, cops say, hey, looks like the kid wasn't locked in properly. Car seats can be complicated, and so I understand the cop. I don't know why the cop would say that unless the cop actually thought that, but the grandfather's like, no, he wasn't. But unless the grandfather put him in there, how would he know? Right? So it's really weird that the grandfather's coming to the kid, but I understand why, because apparently these two people have no memory so far of what's happened. So Trooper Mark Gramillion told Enola.com police stand by their report based on the information they have so far. The investigation is ongoing. Family members announced the tragedy in an IG vid, also revealing the extent of Caitlin and Jalen's injuries. Caitlin suffered multiple broken bones and severe concussion, while Jalen underwent emergency surgery in one of his legs, which now has rods and pins. Both are being treated at different hospitals. Now, if Jalen doesn't have a concussion, Jalen must have a memory of the accident and what happened. Now, can cars do crazy things? Maybe if you've got like that autopilot thing, but veering off and smashing into a tree, I think that would be a big deal if that were the case. This is heartbreaking. I was almost not going to cover this, but I got 150 messages to cover this because it is worth the conversation for family vlogs for a couple of reasons. One is that this accident is tragic, and looks like there could be mitigating circumstances, like the possibility that they might have been filming while driving. And we know that that's absolutely possible because almost all of them do it. Almost every influencer out there who family vlogs with the children will do this. All of them do it, okay? I have done this in the past because my car is self-driving, right? And even since then, I've never done it again because I got a lot of pushback, and I agree. Shouldn't do it. Okay, every single one. Now, I don't know, I haven't dug into their stuff, but I'm sure if we dug in, we might find some stuff in vehicles, okay? And so that's just the one thing we have to understand, is that it's a tragic accident, but are the mitigating circumstances part of this? And two, they're already making TikToks. They're already, and I hesitate to say the word capitalize off this, but they're really, like, for lack of a better term, I'm going to say capitalize. Because I don't honestly think they're like, wow, great, we get to make content. I think that they're heartbroken. I think this is a sad story. But when you look at the TikTok and the 40.6 million views on this one when they came out, there's, again, capitalizing again is the wrong word. It's just for lack of a better term. I don't think that they're like, well, let's make money on this. But it's going to be It's going to be a residual of what happens with the story. 524,000 followers. They have exploded in following since this. And I'm not saying they did this to get a following. I'm not saying they did this for clout. I'm honestly believe this was a tragic accident. But if the police are standing by their report that something went wrong in this vehicle, that's why I was so hesitant to talk about this, because until it all comes out, we don't know. But if he doesn't have a concussion, Jalen doesn't have a concussion, he needs to get out and tell the world, because everybody, the internet is going to get up in arms and they're going to talk about this thing, because we've seen, I'm going to show you here in a minute, just one influencer that I've been talking about for years and years. There's 3 instances just on her Reddit alone that shows she doesn't put her kids in seatbelts. Okay, so this is the thing. If anything, this is a video to tell everybody, especially family vloggers, buckle your fucking children in the cars. Don't shirk safety because you think your kids need to be comfortable for some reason. It's so weird to me that they do this. Understand car seat safety. There's so many influencers do that, like go too early with front facing seats and then get so many they get called out in their comments and they get so butthurt when it happens. It's so weird to me. People are just trying to look out for your kid because clearly you're not. People putting kids in rear facing car seats before they're supposed to be, or vice versa. It happens all the time. This is an industry where kids are often put in massive amounts of physical danger too, because the parents decide they want to vlog while driving. Now, I'm not saying that's what they did here. I'm just saying it is known to happen a lot. So is that part of this? I don't know. The police are standing by, and here's the NOLA article. Heartbroken family of 2-year-old killed in the Louisiana crash disagrees with state police. Now, this is their time that the grandfather disagreed with the police. The family of 2-year-old went viral on TikTok, who's tragically killed in a North Shore car accident on Thursday, said they are heartbroken and frustrated by what they say is an accurate description by Louisiana State Police of the crash. The state police announced in a press release Thursday that Preston Ordone II was improperly restrained in his car seat when he was killed after a 2011 Ford F-150 traveling eastbound veered off the road and struck a tree just before 11:50 a.m. The 2 front seat passengers were both wearing seatbelts. Now, this is the craziest part to me in this story, that the 2 adults in the front that crashed into the tree, they survived. And the child in the back in a car seat, if properly restrained, I'm just saying that there might be some validity to that, because how are the most impacted people are the 2 in the front seat? They survived. If a child's in a car seats are meant to be in like accident, like they're tested, and if they're properly installed and they're doing it, like, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm just saying if the 2 adults survived, something, again, I'm just saying in my gut, something's fishy about the thing. And I can understand even like if you improperly did it and you didn't mean to and everything else, you're an influencer, you've got a reputation to uphold, and you also could possibly be charged with child endangerment if you didn't put the seat in properly. And so they have a lot to lose if this child wasn't put in his car seat properly. Now, I want to believe them when they say it, because they have until we have proof otherwise, man, like it's a 2-year-old. Like, I hope so. The announcement received significant reaction on Facebook. The family has 25,000 followers on Facebook, 151,000 and 251,000 on TikTok, which has now since literally doubled. It is doubled. But Glenn Norris, Ordone's grandfather, disputed the state police claim on Facebook in the phone interview on Friday evening, saying Preston was properly restrained. He spoke from the Lakeview Hospital, where son-in-law Jalen Ordone and daughter Caitlin Ordone are recovering from their injuries. Again, I don't know why the dad didn't do it. Maybe the dad said through the grandfather he was, and so that's what they're saying. Because again, if this child wasn't properly restrained in the car seat, that's negligence from the parents. It can be charged. And they're trying not to get charged, and I agree. Like, I hope for everybody's, there's no hope for it. The child has died, and it's so tragic, right? Maybe the car seat failed. Maybe there needs to be some lawsuits. Did the truck veer off the road and like smash it? Like, how did all this happen? There's so many unanswered questions right now, and that's the only one that they're answering, which is weird to me. He said the couple was on their way home from a doctor's appointment with Preston when the crash occurred. The couple's daughter Paisley was at school. It's heartbreaking for their daughter. Norris said he spoke with a waitress who was behind the truck when it wrecked and who removed Preston from the vehicle. He said the witness told him Preston was properly restrained in the car seat. So there was a good Samaritan that came up and said it looked like the kid was. So you've got 2 people saying he was and a cop saying he wasn't. Right? Now, a cop obviously understands a little bit more when they see accidents. They get to scenes of accidents. They understand. Like, if you don't know how to put your car seat in, you can actually go to a fire station or police, and they will train you on how to properly put your car seat in. These guys know what it looks like. Okay, they're trained on it. But that's 2 people saying the child was restrained. Okay, Norris said he was feeling numb after his grandson's death, but added he was also very angry about the state's police post, which he said was hurtful and painful. Now, I don't think the police are trying to be hurtful and painful here. This is a tragic accident that happened. And it's the saying too much thing is happening right here. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Trooper Mark Gremillion said in a phone call on Friday evening, press release was accurate based on the information the state currently has. He declined to speak further because there is an ongoing investigation. Obviously from the accident, and possibly if they think that this child was not restrained properly, there is going to be charges laid. Because no one's answering the question about why the hell did this truck crash into a tree. In a pinned comment on the Facebook post announcing the crash, Louisiana State Police said, "Our goal is never to add to the pain, but rather fulfill our responsibility in this age of information. The reason for the crash are currently under investigation," State Police said. The post also said they want to raise awareness about actions that could potentially save lives in the future. That's a big statement right there. They're saying that they are, without saying it, that the kid was not properly restrained in the car seat. That's what they're saying here. There's ways to mitigate this. Now, again, not on purpose. None of this I don't think was on purpose. It sounds like a tragic accident, maybe based on maybe a tire popped, something. There's a million things that could have happened. Maybe a bird hit the windshield. Maybe there was a deer. I don't know. Maybe they got cut off by somebody. There's a million things that could have happened. But I have to also put into consideration one of those million things could be people vlogging with cameras, because that's what these guys do for a living. Our hope is to reach those who may not have considered the far-reaching consequences of certain behaviors. This is such a loaded phrase. Our hope is to reach those who may not have considered far-reaching consequences of certain behaviors. Something is going to come out about this. I'm confident that something is going to. My gut was telling me, and I didn't want to talk about this, but once I started reading these things, I'm like, okay, there's something going on. Norris said it's a long road ahead for his family's recovery. His daughter has multiple broken bones, and his son-in-law shattered his leg, he said. I don't blame the grandfather for coming to bat for them. I mean, this is tragically the most insane thing, but just one more reason that children especially can't give informed consent to being on the internet, because this kid's life is on the internet forever. The daughters out, their lives are on the internet, and they're being publicly scrutinized, whereas they might not have been if they weren't a famous influencer people. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are other things to consider now that we know that they film their lives. So there's, without going through it all, and I'm not going to, there is content with the kid in the vehicle. Okay, I don't know if there's any driving. Yeah, well, he's in the back of the truck here. Not saying they're driving yet, but I mean, this is the type of people who, this child was the center of this channel. As I'm looking through it, it's literally made up of this kid's whole life was there they are driving. They're in their vehicle anyway, is what I'm saying. They were driving somewhere because they're at a store now eating. So they do drive and vlog, is what I'm saying. And I mean, I'm not putting blame. I'm just saying this is kind of what every family vlogger does, everybody. They all do this. It's so sad. But then they have to come out with TikToks like this. And this isn't them. This is their, I don't know if there's brother and sister or something, family members of some kind had to come out and say something like this. Okay, so let's watch this. 3 minutes video.
Caitlin and the family has asked us to make a video to update you guys and kind of explain what happened. I'm gonna let Brio kind of take it over.
Caitlin, Jalen, and Preston were involved in an accident. Paisley, you guys know Paisley, she was at school at the time, she was not in the vehicle. We don't know all the details yet, but her truck veered to the right off the interstate and struck a tree.
And are these the people you wanted to put this message up? Because they just sound like they're reading from a library book. It doesn't even, it's really weird to me. Guys, I'm giving you my genuine reaction to this, and I think a lot of people's reaction is the same. It's like, what is going on here?
And unfortunately, Preston didn't make it. Caitlin and Jalen are severely injured. Caitlin has
this is weird.
Multiple broken bones. She had a very bad concussion. She walked for the first time today. Jalen had to have emergency surgery on one of his legs. He has rods in them, pins in them. They are both at different hospitals. They were brought to different hospitals. Preston was removed from the vehicle, brought to the hospital, and they tried everything that they could.
I just wanted to say that Preston had made a huge impact on all of you guys. He made people smile and laugh. I know you guys look forward to seeing him every day. And I know in heaven right now, if there's mud in heaven, he's probably has found it and is jumping and dancing in it.
I'm getting bad. I have no else to say this, for lack of a better way of saying something. I'm getting bad vibes off this.
Running up and down the streets of gold.
In his overalls.
In his overalls. He probably has golden overalls. We're gonna miss him a lot.
I think I just want to say that what you guys seen, like, even though this is TikTok, even though you just see videos, and even though some people might look at it as entertainment to them, that this is truly who they were, and that was truly Preston, and what you saw on the video and how he made you guys feel is what he made his family feel every single day. That was them exactly.
With all that being said, we know that you guys want to help and support in any way you can. I know we've gotten DMs like saying, you know, how can we support, how can we help, you know, we're sending prayers, you know, what else can we do? So the family has started a GoFundMe. They wanted us to tell you about. We'll put a link in Caitlin's bio for her.
We will also share it on all of our social media. This GoFundMe is for the medical expenses that Caitlin and Jalen are going to have to face.
Every little bit helps, even if you just like this video, share this video. Your prayers, your thoughts, every little bit of it helps right now. So we thank
This okay, so this video is just like, they didn't have to do any of that and be like, he's in his golden, you know, overalls in the mud in heaven. Like, it didn't have to do any of that. Just been like, here's the GoFundMe, you guys want to support, that's it. It just doesn't, they've got a hashtag OKBabyForever. Something's sitting weird with me on this. I don't believe this. Rest in peace, OK Baby. The way she couldn't even utter the words didn't make it. She uttered the words. Preston and Xalia videos were so cute to watch. Okay, so again, I'm getting bad vibes off this whole thing, not just because I don't know how to explain this, but it doesn't. It's the it's the vibes. I don't know how else to say this. It's bugging me. And they've raised $52,000 of a $70,000 goal. Wow, someone gave $10,000. And again, this sucks as Americans that you have to raise money to pay your hospital bills. I can't even imagine. That's insane to me. $70,000 to pay your hospital bills is crazy. But here, she then came up with a video, I think, today.
This is Caitlin. I am Preston's mom. And I wanted to try to come on here and give y'all an update because I have been hearing about all the love and the support that y'all have been giving. And
it doesn't. Okay, watch this, and as a father, I wouldn't be making TikToks. I would throw it all away, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even. I couldn't even imagine the grief that I'd be going through if one of my children died in a horrific car accident. I wouldn't be on a TikTok done up a little bit and making TikToks. Again, I know everybody's gonna say people grieve differently, but this isn't. This is a weird. I hesitate to cover this type of stuff just because of this exact reason. Because my gut is like, what the f? That's it. I don't know how else to say this.
it means so much to us in a time like this. Just a little bit of a story. I don't even know how I'm going to put this video together, but I was discharged out of the hospital yesterday. My husband is still in the hospital, so we are staying at an Airbnb close to him. That way we can see him. I think we all are trying. None of us really understand why or how this could happen, but y'all's support has made a big difference in a lot of this, and I may not be able to watch everything. I may not be able to reply to every comment because it's really hard for me to look at it, but I'm still seeing some things and hearing how much y'all love him, and it means a lot.
And I'll stand by this again. There's just no reason to do that video. There was zero reason to do that. Be with your family. That's all I could say. But this, like, you guys, I'm trying to be really, really nice about this because there's so many times we see influencers who go through such heartbreaking grief, and their first inclination is to get on TikTok and tell everybody about it. I'll never understand it. And again, I understand that people grieve differently. If this has been your whole life and you feel like this is the community you want the community to rally around you for the support, I get that. So the only time I'd say, like, yeah, get that get those accolades and those comments of love, because that will make you feel good. And I think that probably is good in this situation, like getting the fans to rally around you so you could feel like you are supported. I do get that. I understand that. Comment here, she doesn't look very sad. I'd be bawling. Someone says, are you serious? So sorry for your loss. Okay, but how did the truck randomly veer off the road? We're still trying to figure that out, she says, but I won't stop trying until we do. My husband and I had really bad concussions. No. See there, this is this. The article had said nothing about her husband having a concussion, just her. Now she's saying her husband and her have concussions. That doesn't sit right with me. And so far, do not remember, but the doctor said our memory should come back eventually. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. And I agree with this comment. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to open yourself up to this, especially if there's going to be an investigation and possibly charges coming down the road. Because if the investigators, regardless of what anybody thinks, see the evidence of negligence, especially when it comes to the car seat, if that's what they come to see, you guys are going to be in trouble. You'll be in trouble. You're not going to, accidents happen, yes, but if the accident is preventable, especially when it comes to car seat safety, I think that you could be charged. I don't know, but it sounds like you could be charged. Someone writes, if you'd only restrain your child appropriately, another parent lacking car seat safety, poor little boy. People who are saying she doesn't look sad clearly have never gone through grief. Again, this is why she shouldn't have done this video, because it doesn't look like she's sad. There's a couple moments where she does get a little bit sad, but she just looks straight up normal. And if she is going through grief, the optics of what she's doing here is bad. Then that's what I'm saying. Even if she is going through the worst grief in her life, it doesn't look like it. That's what we're saying. That's why you don't do these videos. That's why you leave it. You get off the internet. You go be with your family. I'll never understand why influencers feel the need to just get on the internet right away and tell the whole world. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would be literally living in a hole. I wouldn't be able to come up for air if one of my children died. You would never hear from me. It would take months and months for you to hear from me. I don't know what I would do. Something isn't right here. Someone says, yeah, she's probably on pain meds, shock, and much more. I'm truly sorry for your loss. Why are you here? You don't look sad at all. Stop judging her. She has a concussion. That's a true concussion, though, for me, made me way more sad and cry. My wife was telling me, she showed me some videos of me asking certain questions and stuff and like crying and like grieving while I was having concussion. It was really weird to watch it back, actually. Something seems off. I wouldn't care about my TikTok if I'd lost my son, but also there's no sign that she's been crying. My eyes would be red and puffy. She literally looks fine. It's bizarre. And again, this person says only people who never experienced grief would assume something like this. I've experienced grief, and every time I've experienced grief, it has destroyed me. I would never be able to get on a camera like this. I'm saying everybody's the same as me, but I think, again, why I'm saying this is because, damn, maybe she shouldn't have done this video. And then this person here, JBaby2202, says this: no disrespect, because Preston was the sweetest little boy out there, and I literally watch your videos daily, and he was my reason for even watching TikTok. That's weird. However, I've been watching the GoFundMe, and I'm curious as to why each time the goal is met, it's been raised, and no one's talked about the injuries or anything. I just see other people with other problems, and they post their GoFundMes, and they don't get any help. I mean, you can't blame them for having a following and getting help from their following. I mean, that's circumstances. I was also not born into a billionaire's family, and I wish I was. Just curious, if we're going to be getting more bad news with you saying Jalen is still in the hospital, did those people touch people's hearts? They probably put a lower... Oh, so what they're saying is those people who put their GoFundMes out, they didn't touch people's hearts. That's what she's saying. They probably put a lower number, not realizing how much support they receive. Once the next goal is met, I hope they keep raising it because people want to continue. Helping and give them $1 million, then so be it. Her husband will be out of work, both their medical bills, funeral costs, not having to worry about bills, not mentioned, I'm sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not against this GoFundMe. I'm not against it. If you got to raise money for your medical bills, it sucks that you have to do that. From what I know about GoFundMe, once the goal is met, the website will automatically increase the goal. I think it's just automated to do so. That's not true. People put their goals up all the time on GoFundMe as they realize how much it's actually going to cost to get through something so terrible like this. Now, I did a GoFundMe years ago. It went viral here in Ottawa. I was working with a guy at a pizza joint, and I was like, I need to raise this guy $1,000 for his rent and for his kid's Christmas. And I raised him $8,800, something like that. It went viral. We got interviewed in the news. It was crazy story, right? And I didn't change the goal because I wanted to show... I didn't need to, first of all. The money just kept rolling in. It wouldn't just stop accepting money. But it went $7,000 over the goal, and I wanted people to see the generosity of the people in Ottawa and all over the world who were donating to this guy for his Christmas. So you didn't need to change the goal. I the only reason you change goal is because you truly want more. You're missing the entire point of what I put out. I asked, is it being raised because of Jalen? Preston's already gone. Sadly, I don't want her to lose his dad too. So read before you comment. They're all talking. I mean, people, this is be very divisive. Again, there's no reason to get out there and do this video and cause a big giant argument inside your fan base. There's just no reason to do it. And also, all you're doing is casting a lot of craziness where it doesn't need to be. It's just like, don't ever speak to the police in a situation like this. It's just best to walk away and just leave it until it's all solved and figured out. Do an update later. Jeez, these comments are disgusting. Most of y'all behaving like you love her son more than she does. That's weird comment. The baby wasn't restrained properly and this is not the child's fault. Just don't, someone says. I mean, I understand that. So people are like, just don't. But what if it does come out in the end that this was a negligent thing, that the car seat wasn't put in properly? What if it comes out that they were vlogging or there's some negligence on the side of the dad driving? Right? I mean, are you all going to be just still be like, good for you guys? Like I'm just saying, the smartest thing to do in this type of situation is to just leave it. Walk away from it. Walk away from TikTok. Walk away from social media and deal with this privately as a family. You're leaving your comment section open to arguing and people make up their own things until you say it. You just came in here and said, we got an accident. I don't know how it happened. We're going to look into it. And then you just walked away from, like, you lit a fire and walked away in your comment sections. It doesn't make any sense to do this. But this is a good point, guys. When a mother loses a child, they almost always medicate heavily with receptor blockers so she can cope. Coupled with the pain medication she's probably on, she's very clearly subdued here. Agreed with that probably. Yeah. Then don't get a camera and get on it. I would suggest highly, again, not doing that. How are you so calm? You're a stranger to me as so many. The last thing I could do is get on TikTok and talk about it after losing a child. I don't understand. To those in the comments, firstly, the EMS responded and said that person was properly restrained. No. The EMS did not say that. It was the Good Samaritan. So you're spreading disinformation. He was too little to be forward-facing, not likely contributed whether he's properly restrained or not. There's videos that show them put him forward-facing. So this is important. So if he's too little to be forward-facing, that's why you put rear-facing car seats. It's important because if you get in an accident, the kid... the baby is going to be pushed back towards the back of the chair and is likely going to be safer. If your child is too small to be in a forward-facing seat, it means that their body is not strong enough to withstand an impact. And so if the kid was forward-facing and they have videos of that, it's not much you're going to be able to say about it. That's why it's car seat safety. Maybe a lot of these influencers can take their enormous presence online and the impact that they have on their fans and do videos about proper car seat safety. Just like, hey, you might have this brand or you might this, and use your considerable growth and your considerable influence to teach people how to do car seat safety properly. Nobody tends to do that, obviously. I don't even know how you're able to do this and look so put together. A lot of us are thinking that. Why is everyone being so insensitive? Well, Lauren, have you ever been to the internet? People have questions. They're asking these questions because they're leaving a video like this up so that people will come in and do it. There was just no reason. There was no reason to put any of these videos up. 40 million views on that other video. This one is over a minute long, exactly over a minute long, and it's getting millions and millions and millions of views. I will let you decide what you will with that information. Here's a comment that's important. For the people suggesting it's her fault for the car seat and asking how she's able to look good, imagine the internet scrutinizing you for the death of your child. If you don't want to be scrutinized by the internet, don't go on the internet. I don't know how else to say this. And one more reason why you shouldn't put your children on the internet. Someone says she's disassociating. Everybody becomes a friggin' doctor in these comments. She's in a state of shock and there's like medical, and everybody is becoming a doctor on the other side too. Like, I don't see that you're sad. Like, everybody becomes a freaking psychologist and doctor in the comments. So I watched that video and what are we at on that video? 3.7 million views, released 20 hours ago. The other one has 40 million views. Now, I'm not saying that they are obviously the channel is monetized. I just think it's unnecessary what they have done here. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. So the fundraiser is at 70,000. Her TikTok has literally doubled. And they're out there making videos that I honestly think that they should just walk away from. They shouldn't do it. Because if it turns out that they are negligent in this case, like if it turns out that they have done something that they shouldn't have done, or just accidental or whatever the case may be, I hope for them it's not. I really do. This is a tragic story. But this all brings me to this realization that I had the other day. I went on JessFam Snark because I know specifically JessFam does not follow car seat safety. And multiple times. Just on the JessFam Snark page here, she got called out by Jamie Grayson for posting a video with improper seatbelt use for kids. This her kids in the back of the car while she's driving and vlogging, holding a camera, like I think Chris might be driving and she's in the passenger seat just because of the way the cameras are. But these kids are absolutely not properly buckled in. And this is what it said. The Jamie Grayson, a word to family vloggers like Jess Fam, sadly. As a society, we absorb what is presented to us through media. So when you have a platform of millions of people and you have content like this on it, some people might think this is okay. I'm going to assume the best and hope that you had no harmful intentions because nobody should want to hurt their children or themselves. But please get those children buckled up properly as well as yourself and reach out to a local CPTSD if you need help. Thank you, everyone in the car buckled properly. Every single time, those are just the rules. Here's another one. Addie not wearing a seatbelt. The seatbelt is literally not on her child. Just not buckled in at all. Okay, repost because I forgot to cover her face. Thanks for reminding me. Someone pointed in the comments, she replied, yes, she is like a bitch. No, she's not buckled in. She's not buckled in. Jess Fan puts her kids in so much serious danger. It is crazy. And she doesn't care. When she called out, she gets upset that she gets called out for not parenting her children properly. Here's another picture of the child not buckled in. There's the seatbelt right there. There's another seatbelt of a stranger. I don't even know who this kid is. Maybe it's Sunkissed Butt Jam's kid. None of these children are buckled in while they're vlogging. None of them. Both kids remove their seatbelts to eat while driving. And so you look at these people who do this, and I'm sure we can go through other people's influencers. Any influencer out there has children. I'm sure we can go through it and find half the time these kids aren't buckled in. Because I've never understood that in my life. Don't buckle your kids in their cars. All I have to say is that this is obviously such a super tragic accident that happened, and there's too much going on right now. Like, how did this accident happen? There obviously was a witness behind that saw what went down with the vehicle and just veered into a tree, but what? And I don't think that, and here's what my gut tells me. I don't think you're going to hear from the parents at all on this publicly whatsoever. I don't think they're going to make up a story. I don't think they're going to tell you the truth. I think they're going to be like, we don't remember, the end. That's in their best interest, and that's what their lawyer is going to tell them to do. Because if you can't remember, you can't remember. And stop making videos that are just going to open yourself up to more scrutiny to the millions and millions of people on the internet who are following this case because it's super viral right now. It's a tragic accident. If anything, if it is true that you are responsible to some degree by not doing the car seat properly, you know what you could do? Is you could come out and say, we messed up because, I don't know, we were uneducated in it, but please do yourself a favor and make sure that you always buckle your kid's seatbelt properly. If they're not this age, don't do forward facing. They could take this as an opportunity to be like, to educate the many fans and the 200,000 that they've gained since then, to be like, guys, buckle your kids up. They won't say that because it would be admitting guilt, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to say that, but if anything is, if you ever see an influencer out there and their kids aren't buckled up, you've got an article here in a family to use and say, look, keep your kids buckled. You gotta stop. You gotta stop doing this. And again, I'm not saying that they did. I'm just saying there's two witnesses that say the kid was buckled in properly, and there's the cop that says no, the kid was not. So we're gonna be following this, obviously. So let me know in the comments below what your gut is telling you about this case, because again, I've gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of links to the story about people wanting to hear from my side of this thing. And so in the end, it's the most massive tragic accident, and I'm not trying to pile onto them and hurt them in any way. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. This is the most heartbreaking thing ever. I wouldn't recover. I wouldn't be on, I wouldn't be on TikTok making TikToks. I wouldn't. So let me know. I honestly want to know what you guys believe below. Did I miss the mark? I don't know. Like I was so hesitant to cover this, but it is part of the world that we cover here on the channel. And like, tell Jess Fam to stop doing stupid shit with their kids. That's for sure. Everybody, take a deep breath. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really, really sad. I think one of the most sad things about this case is the thousands of people are like, this is, I loved this kid so much and everything else, and inspired me to do things, and this is like, it's never going to be that kid's responsibility either to be that for people. That's so sad about this. That's an underlying thing in this that overarches the case and all this kind of stuff, but like, we got to get these kids off the internet. We got to keep our kids off the internet, everybody. It's so unsafe. So anyway, thank you for being here for these tough conversations, this sad story. I'd like to know what you think below for sure. I'm definitely open to hearing all, but so thank you for being here, and I will see you when I see you.